Hello and welcome. We are going to be talking about dividing polynomials during this video today. The main things to understand from this video is going to be an introduction to dividing polynomials using the same steps that we learned about in elementary school when we learned how to do long division with numbers. So looking at a first example, we are doing 1105 divided by 23 using long division. And we see that process below right now. We are doing 1105 divided by 23. The first step of that process will be to see, can 23 go into 11? Well, that's not true. It can't go into 11. We need to kind of go one more number out. So 23 into 110, that can go in 4 different times. And we then do 4 times 23, and that is going to be equal to 92. So after that, we can do subtraction. 110 minus 92, and that equals 18. Once we've done that, we need to bring down the 5, our next number in our dividend here, and do the same process over again. So we got to figure out, can 23 go into 185? It can go in 8 times. So I do 8 times 23. That equals 184. And when we subtract that, we get 1. Now I can try to do that same process a third time. So I can try to do 23 into 1. Well, obviously that doesn't go into it. So that means that our 1 down here is our remainder. And we can see that written up here with our quotient. So let's write up here at our top corner that our answer from that problem was 48 with a remainder equal to 1. I have found over the years that many students, when they first learned this, were not sufficiently explained as an elementary schooler what that remainder meant in terms of the division problem. And that's what I'm going to try to explain right now in this video before we move on to polynomials. So we don't need this part anymore, and we'll leave our answer written up there at the top. So let's think about a different problem, a very easy problem like 20 divided by 4. We don't need long division for that. We know it's equal to 5. But that's not the only way to write this. 20 is equal to 4 times 5. 20 is equal to 4 times 5. Now, these are 2 different ways to write the same thing, and we're going to look at quickly at how to write out this using the same idea. So if let's get rid of our 20 divided by 4 and all of this stuff over here. In fact, let's just get rid of everything right now. So we know from what we just did earlier that 1105 divided by 23 equals 48, and the remainder is 1. So let's write that out. So we did 1105 divided by 23, and that we said was equal to 48, and the remainder was 1. But if we think about what I just wrote there, 1105 divided by 23 doesn't equal 49, what I have on the right side here. That's incorrect. We know it's equal to 48 and 1 remainder, which is not the same thing as 49. What this is actually equal to is we would do 1105 divided by 23 is equal to 48 and 1/23. And you could check that on your calculator for the decimals. 48 and 1/23 is equal to 1105 divided by 23. So that's one way to write it, kind of similar to 20 divided by 4 over 5. So maybe we can even write that over here again. That's kind of similar to 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. So let's think about the second way to write that. So let's come back over to the left side here. And we're going to, if we took what we wrote up here, if I had everything over here and I multiplied everything over there by 23, that would make it so we had 1105. 1105 is going to be equal to 48 times 23 plus 1. And if you multiply this out on your calculator, you would see that 48 times 23 equals 1104. If you add one more to that, you would find that it is equal to 1105. Now, if we compare that to the right side here, what we did earlier, we would see that 20 is equal to 5 times 4. And that is the equivalence there that we're looking for. So we could even draw an arrow that, oh, well, these two are kind of representing the same thing, and these two are representing the same thing. This process of writing it out in such a way is called the division algorithm. And essentially what is happening is that we have a dividend, 1105. We have a divisor, the thing being divided by is 23. We have a quotient of 48, and we have a remainder of 1. And so we have that divided by 23, that same thing as the divisor. And we can kind of just write it in two different ways. And like I said, this is called the division algorithm. So maybe we'll division algorithm. An algorithm is just a process or a simpler way to write out a mathematical concept. And the further you go in math, the more you'll see algorithms. And we're going to be talking about applying our division algorithm in what we will do with polynomial division, because you will see a lot in this chapter that our answers are being written most commonly in this exact way that I have put a box around right there. To end this video, we're looking right now at a quick example of a side-by-side comparison of a numerical long division problem compared to a polynomial long division problem. And that will be the next topic we cover in our next video. Thank you for watching.